Evening and welcome to our Careers in Childcare and Education event this evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sarah Ramsey and I'm Head of School for Childcare and Health and Social Care here at City and Islington College. And I'm joined tonight by some of my colleagues and I'll introduce them to you. We're joined by Laura, who's the Curriculum Manager for Childcare and Education, by Neville and Al-Hussein, who are both our work experience officers. We've got Sherwin here to talk to you about the careers that this kind of qualification can lead on to. And we've also got Gabriella, who's one of our students, who's going to talk to you a little bit about her experience at the college. So over to you, Laura. But just before I do, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see you've got a Q&A tab. If you have any questions at all whilst people are talking, please feel free to type it into that Q&A tab. I'll keep a little eye on that. And at an appropriate time, I shall ask the question to the right person. Thank you. Laura.
Hi and welcome. As Sarah said, I'm Laura, the Curriculum Manager for Childcare. So within the childcare departments, we offer a range of qualifications from entry to level 3. They all focus on getting our young people into careers in early years industries, such as nursery nurses, nursery managers, play leaders, teaching assistants and primary school teachers. Our entry to level 1 are a good introduction to childcare and the industry. They also give the learners who haven't been able to achieve a pass grade in up to 4 GCSEs, they give them the opportunity to gain those grades through a work-based qualification. They'll also be able to retake maths and English alongside this, which will be done through either functional skills or level 1 maths and English. Our level 2 and 3 qualifications are a license to practice, which means they will qualify the learner to work in a setting and be counted towards the ratios. The learners will gain experience as practitioners through their work training placement and develop their underpinning knowledge within college classroom. Within the course, they have a designated tutor who tracks their progress, sets them targets, and helps make sure that they're accessing all the support and services available to them at the college. They'll also have subject teachers who have experience in the field they're training them for. Then they have an assessor who also has experience in the field, and the assessor's role is to support them in their setting. So they'll go in and actually observe them in practice and help them develop those skills further. In addition to this, we also have a designated work placement officer whose job is to make sure that the settings that we send our learners to meet health and safety requirements and are suitable for all their learning needs. They will also then track their attendance throughout the year to make sure that they're on target to meet their placement requirements. Done.
Thank you, Laura. That's really informative. Thank you very much for that. And talking now about our placement officer, I'm going to send you over to Neville, who's going to talk to you about his role within the job and how he supports our learners in childcare and education.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Laura. I think one of the positive areas for any of our learners enrolling onto any of our childcare courses, as Laura mentioned, they start from our entry 3 right up to our level 3. At some period of time throughout the course, all of our learners will have the opportunity to gain work experience. Primarily, that's real life work experience in an industry placement. And what we've attempted to do this year is, for some that are unable to have real life experiences, we also have online modules through a particular platform that we actually use. Our learners have the opportunity to be placed in early years settings, nurseries, children's centres. Some have also gained experience in after school clubs as well. Our learners have the opportunity to gain 1 day in placement, 2 days, and also block periods as well. Our database for our childcare settings are vast. And what that allows us to do is actually place our learners in and around London. So as an example, even though a few of our campuses are obviously based in the north side of the Thames, we do have students based in Essex, and also in the southern part of London as well. This also allows us to actually meet the travel requirements of some of our learners who are still understanding the importance of travel. So for some, we will be able to place them probably 30 minutes from their home, which works to advantage for a lot of our younger learners as well. So yeah, as Laura was mentioning, between myself as a work placement officer, Laura as the curriculum lead, Sarah as the head of school, our tutors and our IQAs, we all work extremely closely to make sure that any of our learners in the work placement have the best opportunity available to them.
Thank you very much. Alexane, have you got anything that you wanted to add?
Actually, just said it all in terms of what our students will get. I mean, in terms of there's a background where we prepare our students before even they go into placements. So what I've seen Neville do with students is to sit there and discuss travel routes, is to do the prep work in terms of safeguarding that we do at college, is to do the DBSs when they come in, to start the course. And after they do the DBS, we encourage them obviously to go on the update service and register on the update service. So there's a lot of preparatory work before we send them into the placement. And what we do, we liaise a lot with the placements as well. So we have an expectation and the students get to understand exactly what they're going to go into, what their responsibilities are. We've already got a student handbook for placements. We've got a handbook for employers who are taking our students on placement, so they know what the college requirements are and what our expectations are. So it's that going into a placement and knowing exactly what you should get from that placement. So what we do get is a lot of feedback from our students, from employers. So there's that dialogue where we're constantly knowing what the students are, what the requirements are, what issues are, what we need to sort out, how the placements are going, how suitable. And what I've seen Neville done most of the time is if a placement is not suitable for a student, we tend to move them into a different placement where they're suitable, because for us, it's the experience of them having real life learning experience and enjoying the placement as well. Because if they're stress-free within the placement and they're happy, we know they're going to complete the course and get the qualifications. So that's what.
Thank you. And one of the things there that Alexane just touched on was about our safeguarding. And prior to any of our learners going out onto work placement, we this year, all learners attended a course, which was a one-day course on safeguarding. And there was a two-pronged approach to that. And with that safeguarding training, we delivered a session for the learners in the morning, looking at how they could stay safe in placement and their journey to placement. And in the afternoon, we delivered a session for learners regarding how to keep the people that they were looking after safe. So it was a two-pronged approach. It was about the children in their care, and it was also about their own safety. And all learners completed that before they went out into placement. So Laura, before they go into placement, we have this realistic working environment, don't we? We have our nursery or our classroom set up at college. What are the benefits and what will learners do in there before they go to placement?
So we have a large area that's set up as a creative room and a mock nursery. This gives learners the chance to get familiar with the type of resources and materials that they will be leading activities with the children with. It also gives them the opportunity to set up areas and set up activities, assess health and safety, and just get comfortable with the surroundings that they'll be going into.
Thank you. And that helps them to prepare, doesn't it? So once they get into the work placement, they've already developed some of those skills, which obviously gives them confidence for once they arrive. Thank you. So we're going to go over now to Sherwin, who's going to talk to us about the careers and the career pathways that learners can take after they've left us here at City and Islington College. Sherwin.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Our students are a talented bunch of young people. Once they've done work placement, they find that that prepares them really well for a number of different careers. What we found when we look at our destination stats for our childcare students is that they go into careers that can be divided roughly into two. So we have the healthcare careers, which include occupations like children's nursing, play therapists, even paramedic science. And then we find other students go into occupations which are more education related. For example, early years practitioner, teaching assistants, primary school teachers, social work, and also youth work. We're very proud as a college that large numbers of our level 3 students go on to university and study careers in nursing, in social work and paramedic science, and teaching. As a career service, we have a wraparound service which includes one-to-one interviews, group enrichment projects, and offering all our childcare students the options to do employee visits, so they can visit can visit departments that provide teaching or nursing. We run apprenticeship and university fairs at the college where students can come along and talk in person to representatives of the universities to find out more about their courses. But it's not just about universities. Lots of our students may go on to do apprenticeships in nursery nursing, teaching assistants, and we support all our students, whatever level, to ensure that they find the right course and the right career for them. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you very much. I'm going to hand over now, before I start on the questions, to Gabriella. Gabriella is one of our current students, but she has progressed through some levels. She's going to talk to you quickly about the experience that she's had while she's been at City and Islington College. Gabriella.
Hiya, hello everyone. I just would like to say that it's been a pleasure to study college and study childcare. I did level 2 last year, and I'm currently doing my level 3 certificate. And it's been really great. I've had opportunities to attend seminars that taught me more about children. I've also had an opportunity to work with Neville, as he is my placement officer.
I think we might have lost Gabriella there. I believe she's traveling at the moment. She's joined us.
The time he's found me, dated me, where I can to work with the children. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to work with the childcare department to grow my skills.
Gabriella, thank you, and well done. I know you're coming to the end now of your course, so well done. Thank you for joining us. So I have a couple of questions now, and the first question I'm going to ask is regarding work experience. So Neville, I'll come to you. The question is, does my daughter need to find her own work experience placement?
That's a really good question as well, from that we've actually received there as well, Sarah. It's something that a lot of our learners actually ask during enrollment as well. Where our college is in a very positive position. I know I mentioned it when I was speaking earlier. We have a database of schools, children's centres, early years centres and nursery that spread across the whole of London. And with that database, we have very good working relationships with those settings. And what that allows us to do is place those students. Sometimes students do approach us and give us an idea of where they would like to be placed. 9 out of 10 times, we already know that placement anyway. So yes, our database is vast, and we will always find placements for our learners, regardless of whether they're on our entry 3 or right up to our level 3.
Thank you, Neville. My next question, I think, would probably be best to go to Laura. And Laura, the question is, if my child doesn't get the GCSE grades that they were looking for when they registered for a course, will they then be able to still come to the college, and will you support them with finding an alternative course?
Yes, so because we run from entry to level 3, whatever your GCSE grades are, we have a course in childcare for you. If your grades aren't as good as you want them to be, it just means you maybe need to go down a level in childcare, but then that year in that childcare qualification will gain you the equivalent to 3 or 4 passes in your GCSEs. You will have the opportunity to do maths and English alongside your childcare course, and you will go in at the right level for you. So if GCSE didn't work out, then you would go in at functional skills or level 1. We will assess you alongside your GCSE results. We'll assess you in enrolment to make sure you're on the right level for your maths and English as well as childcare.
Thank you very much. I have another question probably that you can help with here. How many days a week will my son come into college?
Okay, this will depend on the level that they go into. So for example, our entry course, they would be in college for 3 days a week, and they'll have 1 day that's available for placements. They don't go into placement at the beginning of the year because we need to prepare them and get them ready. We look at that for after Christmas, the start of term 2. If someone came straight in at level 3, then they're at college 2 days a week and they're at placement 2 days a week. The additional days left free because sometimes they may need to use that to come in to study, or they may need to use it to make up placement hours. If they're sick and they miss a week at placement, they do have to make those hours up.
So it's quite strict then, the hours.
Yes, so the hours are not set by us, they're set by the awarding body. Because it's a license to practice, they are counted in the qualification. So for the level 3 technical certificate and diploma, the total hours is 750, but this is split over 2 years. So it works out 365 hours per year, which, if everything goes smoothly, is 2 days a week with a block placement. We like to put the students in for a block placement at the end of term because it gives them an opportunity to experience things in the setting that they may have missed because they only work on certain set days. Also, within nurseries and schools, what they do in the last week of term can be very seasonal and cultural, so it's nice for them to be involved and help to build their relationships with children and staff to get that block placement.
Perfect, thank you. I have another question. I think probably Neville, you're the man to answer this one. If a student needs to have a DBS, do we as parents pay for this?
So the answer for that is parents will not be required to pay for the DBS for any of our students that enroll onto any of our courses at the Capital City Group. We have designated safeguarding officers, and they go through all of the documentation and the whole process with any of our learners. So our learners will be provided with information that they need to bring in to apply for the DBSs. What we do encourage our learners to do is, once they do apply for the DBS, is to also apply for the online service. And what that will allow our learners to do is, after a year, annually, a particular payment will be required, and it means that your DBS will be renewed and renewed and renewed. So no, any of the parents, any of your children joining City Islington College or the Capital City Group, you will not be required to pay for your your child's DBS.
Oh, that's good news. Thank you for that. I have another question which is regarding uniform. So Laura, perhaps you might be able to answer this for us. Do students need to wear a uniform? Somebody here says that their younger daughter goes to a nursery and the nursery staff wear uniform. What happens here with our students?
Generally, they don't wear the uniform because they're not as a paid practitioner there at the time, but we do ask them to dress appropriately and comfortable. So a lot of the time the activities will involve them sitting on the floor, on the carpet, outside in the sandpit. So we advise them to dress appropriately for that. And the same with jewellery. Large hooped earrings, the children can get their hands caught in them and pull through them. So for health and safety, we would ask them to be removed. This is all something that we would work with the students in our first initial few weeks, talking to them and getting them to identify what's appropriate and what's not. The same with college, there's not a uniform, but you do need to come appropriately dressed to learn.
Thank you very much. Sherwin, a question for you. If my child is thinking about going to university, do the college give them support in choosing that university?
Great question. Yeah, we provide a lot of support for students who want to go to university, and this starts in the first year that they're at the college. We organise visits to university so they can get a sense of what university life is like. We also invite universities to the college for higher education fairs, and then we go into the individual student groups. We do presentations on university life. We get ex-students who've been to university to also talk to students about the experience. And then to kind of finish that off, there is the offer of one-to-one interviews with students. Some students might not feel they're able to kind of talk in a larger group setting. But yes, the answer to that is yes, we do.
Thank you. And Gabriella, just to ask you a question leading on from that, did you consider going to university, or are you looking to go out into the industry once you've completed your level 3?
So I did have a hard think about this. When I was doing my level 2, and I did decide that I did not want to go forward with university.
I think we've got a bit of a weak connection there with Gabriella, but she's chosen not to go to university. And Laura, I think that's probably because, as you were just saying, you use the term license to practice. So that's something then that allows learners to go directly into industry?
Yes, so our level 2 and level 3 both offer a license to practice. The difference between the roles is, as a level 2, you would be more of a supportive role, and as level 3, you can be a room leader and plan and implement activities and responsible for other staff. But both are paid positions. You're counted in the Ofsted ratio. We find a lot of our students are automatically offered through their placements casual contracts or full-time contracts at the end of their course. This can influence whether they take a year out and come back for level 3 later, or whether they go straight into work and don't think about level 3 for a few years, or some choose to stay and go through level 3 and not work till the end of it.
But presumably, if you were looking at going into teaching, the learner would go on to university, or would they go to placement first?
So if you want to be a nursery manager or a primary school teacher, then you can go straight from our level 3, gives you enough UCAS points to get into the required teaching degree or early years study degree at university.
Lovely, thank you. Well, that brings us to the end of all of our questions now. So thank you very, very much for joining us. And it just leaves me just the quick opportunity to say to you, if you have any more questions and there's anything that you would like us to answer for you, please go over to the website and you can find some contact details there that you can get in contact with someone, and those questions will come to the right person for those people to respond to you. And the other thing is, we have a taster day coming up, which is early July. So as of tomorrow, you should be able to find a link to that. So if you have a young person that's interested in this course or any of our courses, take a look at the website from tomorrow, look for the taster days, and you can book yourself onto one of those taster days. So thank you very, very much for joining us, and we wish you all the very best of luck. Bye-bye.